Alright guys, and we are back with the Millennium League Finals, and I am Nam.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Tim.
And this is a match between Chris and Tim.
That's us.
Here we are.
Chris is playing NBN on the left. Tim is playing Leela on the right. Sorry, Layla? Is it pronounced Layla?
We go with Leela.
Okay.
The double E.
Alright.
That's true. Leela.
Leela.
Yeah, I'm bringing my NEH build that Tim knows all too well.
Yeah,
he knows all my tricks and traps.
I've played against it a fair few times at this point.
To be fair, I mean, how many tricks that aren't obvious at this point? I mean, most of the builds are similar.
It's true. I mean, you've got the standard build, the Astrobiotics build, and then even I'm running, spoilers, I'm running my version of the Nearpad build, which has become fairly commonplace. So I think at this point, when you see NEH, you know that it's very possible they're running some traps and things like that.
Right.
Yeah. So either way, I mean, maybe Tim doesn't know which one you're running. I mean, we just discussed that you do know which one he's running.
I do know.
But if you hadn't played against it before,
Right.
you could probably guess it's one of the few
Right.
archetypes.
So if I didn't know what it was, I would probably run his ice a couple times, because usually you can tell fairly quickly based on what ice they're running what type of NBN build it is.
Very good point.
If you see Quandary and that kind of thing, I'm thinking, fast robotics. But if I see a Data Raven, ever, I make it. But even if I run something and I see like a code gate that isn't Quandary, that makes me think differently.
Absolutely. So Tim trashes my pad campaign right away.
You
Shucks.
You get out of here.
No money for you.
I like my pad campaign.
You're like the soup Nazi, but for credit instead.
I'm just playing and loading up Cat Jones.
So, yeah, there's been some debate as to how to pronounce this card's name. Some
Yes.
people just say Katie, and then I had heard from someone who'd met one of the designers of that card say that it's pronounced Cotty Jones.
There was the official ruling.
It is,
Yeah.
yes. It's in the
Lucas.
FAQ. It's in the
Yes.
FAQ.
Yes.
At Worlds, he issued a statement that it is Cotty.
Cotty,
so
yes.
we must respect.
Right.
It is Cotty. I still call it Katie, but I know it's Cotty.
Some people can say, KJ, because, it's a nice, quick, shortened version. But then there's the...
And there's the Data Raven.
Data Raven.
This is when I confirm that Chris is indeed playing Chris's deck.
Surprise! All bets are off.
And so now that I know that that's what's going on, I know that there's likely dedicated response teams in there, which I want to get rid of as fast as possible, so I start running the remotes.
Guys, you remember last time we spoke, and I was just kind of badgering Tim about the way he's facing his ice? Chris, I have the same question for you. Why is the strength facing you and not the runner?
Because I like the pictures on the ice. So I like to look at them. So Tim runs my remote on his turn. I res the encryption protocol to make him unable to trash the daily business show, put it out of his price range. Love that card.
Wrap around.
So wrap around. Run the new, just to make sure that it is not a snare or a dedicated response team, since you're on low credits. Trying to get those out of there as fast as I can.
Wise play. When I'm sitting below 4, now's the time to run every
everything.
remote.
Yeah.
Although, with that encryption protocol, the snare still costs $1 to trash.
Although if I see the snare, I'll probably leave it on the table, because I don't want you Jacksoning it back in.
Yeah, that's a good call.
There's actually valid reasons to do that now, because, when base set just came out, there was no reason to get rid of it, but...
Get it out.
Now...
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a snare gets installed, I'll usually leave it out there. If I hit it in hand or in deck, I'm usually going to get rid of it. All right.
So 2 installs, and then the diversify.
Okay. So I was about to say I can start smacking into these, but you're at snare funds.
Big money.
I love diversified portfolio. What a great card in any horizontal build. Because, even if you only have 2 or 3 remotes, you're almost at hedge fund range. You're at least at Beanstalk royalties range.
Yeah.
But when, sometimes these decks or similar decks get up to like 10, 15 remotes, it's just absurd.
Yeah.
Who says that that's absurd? It's totally amazing.
Alright, so over to Tim, he's thinking.
Yeah, at this point, you've got a lot of remotes installed, you have money. That's another Sansan. I think one of the other ones was a Sansan as well.
It's true.
And so I know I have to money up to start taking down those Sansans. because in most of these Nearpads, their strategy for scoring agendas is either off of Sands or just leaving them out naked and hoping they don't get run.
Yes.
So you want to get rid of the Sands as quickly as possible.
But see, you're wise because you know what's going on.
Yes.
In playing these Nearpad builds, I find myself spending the first couple turns. We've talked about this on a previous cast, but I spend the first couple turns gauging how the runner chooses to run. Because if they're running like Tim is right now, checking every remote, I am not going to naked install an agenda. But if they're very scared, or if they see an early snare and then they back off, I will gladly put down an Astro and just hope for the best and score it out.
Right.
Yeah, the best turn to place the agenda is the turn right after they hit a snare. Because you know that they're going to have to spend the turn to recover just getting cards. Because they can't risk a second one.
Right. Because when you hit the snare, you don't know if they've spent their influence on, say, dedicated response teams, or they could have spent it on Scorched Earth as well. Because NEH has a boatload of influence, so it can afford to get a bunch of these things in.
That extra 2 does wonders.
It really does.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that I really like with Near Earth Hub builds is that sometimes you get so many remotes, but you don't have any like ice on them. You just make the remotes in front of other remotes.
Yeah.
Positionally.
So Tim, it's trying to get the rig together.
Yeah. The one thing that Tim's build with Leela here might actually be his possible godsend is that he knows that what some of those cards are, especially the Sands. If you actually score one or he steals one, you can actually bounce one of those. Like, you know what they are. You can return them.
And so at this point, I played a Fem at full price here onto that Data Raven because you've played so many remotes that you've seen me checking them. I don't think you're putting agendas out there, so I figured they're starting to stack up in HQ. And I don't want to keep running through a Data Raven and accumulating tags, so I like to put the Fem out there.
Skip the tag.
And keep skipping the tag. I have the Desperado, so it doesn't cost me anything to get into HQ. I don't know whether you actually had anything in HQ at this point. It's tough to tell. It doesn't really look like it.
I think you might have one. But
the one that...
The one that you're going to score right now
the one that,
is the one that...
you're scoring.
You might have
the
2.
Astro. Install Advance.
And you don't want to have that tag.
That card that I have not checked for fear of it being something bad.
Yeah, you don't want to get that tag anyway because you have Kati as your primary source of income.
Yeah, at this point.
If you're getting some other cards, which, to be honest, all the other stuff doesn't look like it's income anyway. So, it is a very dangerous call if you ever want to do that. Mid-season!
So far you've seen mid-seasons and Psycho. So you know that... Oh, and then you see Psycho.
So Psycho at the same turn, yeah.
Fortunately, though, for you, I should say, not fortunately for me, I only scored a Beal on that last turn.
Yes,
the train is not out of the station. And I say enough is enough.
Yeah.
Put another ice in front of HQ.
Get out of my house!
Drawing up. At this point, I haven't seen any of my Earthrise hotels, which are essentially all of my card draw on this deck, so having to do it the hard way. And have not seen the Corroder either, which would let me start hammering on R&D, which against the Nearpad is usually my way to go, is to trash things before they get into play.
I can see how old-timey Netrunner players is like, these kids nowadays, and their Near-Earth Hub, I had to draw all my cards using clicks.
Yes. And it actually it does, in this round and the next round, it makes getting an R&D like very difficult unless you have... So in this version of Leela, I was using Maker's Eye as my R&D multi-access, and so that only fires, a few times throughout the game. And so you effectively can't R&D lock NEH as long as they have things they can install. And so it makes your job much more challenging on the runner side, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, Tim drops the Plascrete, which is when I respond with my classic line, man, I'm playing NEH. Why are you putting down the Plascrete? That doesn't make any sense.
But the business show does draw the Astro script, it looks like.
Love it.
Which promptly is scored.
Boom, boom, boom.
No questions asked there.
And
so you bounce back that ice.
The ice.
Which means I have to discard a card. But it's okay, it's worth it.
Corp net damage.
Sitting at 4 points and a token.
You get to choose the card.
Corp net damage.
That would make the game interesting.
Oh, we got the one shard.
Yes.
or Fragment, whichever.
Utopia, I think that one is, that makes them discard randomly.
They're all a blur. Shards, Fragments, Utopia,
There's
Hades,
also
whatever.
that one Virus that you can make them discard a card at random from.
Yes, Gravedigger.
It's like
Oh, right.
No,
Yeah,
that's wrong.
Hemorrhage, right?
Hemorrhage,
Hemorrhage,
yes.
yeah.
That's a Netrunner card.
It is indeed. That is one I have not seen played in a long time.
I played it a little bit. It's not easy to use, and
Yeah.
it's not always convenient. So it depends on the build. I have to come up with a better build to use
Yeah,
it.
because Hemorrhage takes 2 viruses, right?
Hemorrhage
for every-
requires 2 counters to
Okay.
get rid of 1 card.
So you couldn't really easily slot it into the Hive Mind
Yeah.
progenitor build. If it had 1, you could virus breeding down stuff and just keep. But
That's true. Yeah.
I digress.
It's not exactly perfect, but if you're running a legwork, it might be worth it because it's like, oh, reduce their hand down to a legwork ability, and then you see everything. But that's a combo that requires multiple cards that is just not going to work out. So
Going into the jank tank on that one.
yeah. So Tim, you're actually running here on the business show,
Yeah,
and you're
trash
getting rid
out
of
the
it.
business show.
Yeah, because you know how good they are. So
Right.
Cost 1 extra. I'm not too upset right now.
Yeah.
And you're probably running 2 other business shows. So
Yeah.
Seems likely. It's a very good card. You know, it gets splashed so much, you might as well include it if it's in the action.
Yeah.
You didn't just you just played that inside job, or
No, I
you
discarded that.
You discarded it.
He's not. It doesn't seem he's going to be making remote servers, and so
It's not my bag, man.
no. So
You wouldn't even save it to risk it on R&D once? Just
no, just because I figure I have 3 special orders and I think 2 corroders in the deck, so I should theoretically eventually get to my my fractor in
Okay.
order to get an R&D. So I don't want to waste an inside job there, especially since I'm not using R&D interface.
right. Gotcha.
So at this point, I'm really just okay. So there's the account siphon, and since I know that face down is not a dedicated response team, this is safe. I'm just trying to keep him off of I draw an AstroScript money.
Sure.
Yeah, and that was the right move because you saw earlier that it was a second Sand.
Right.
So had I had enough credits, I would have just rested account siphon would have fizzled. But you did it when I was sitting at 4.
And then I shut
Oh,
down
look at
the
that.
wraparound
Oh, jeez.
and run, bounce the wraparound back, and run again.
Classic Leela.
So and also then
Oh, and trash my DRT.
trash the
Yep,
DRT
spending all the money.
and bounce the. Oh no, never mind.
No,
That's
no,
not,
you-
not
yes.
actually an agenda.
Yes, you didn't steal anything, so
Yes.
it's okay.
Yes.
I believe you were pointing to confirm that the encryption protocol did not count for RP.
Yes,
Yeah.
which it does not. That
Yep.
is
It
correct.
does not. Well, I'm a little sad right now.
And so icing it back up with likely that same wraparound.
And Chris, you have 1 credit, so you have to get at least another credit.
But he,
But I didn't diversified portfolio. Get up to
yeah.
5.
There you
so
go.
that brings
So
the
we got enough.
wraparound back online. And we have another account siphon now.
Ouch.
Oh!
Tim!
Do it again.
Now, are you going to res this in response? Or no, that's the other Sand
That is
right?
the other Sand
So
Sand, so
you
it's
can't
just
res
out of
it.
Avoid
range.
it.
So that does put me back in the bucks.
Tim's like resounding. He can't res that. Yes.
Big surprise, I don't res it.
And it's
And
another
4!
It
Twice in a row.
hurts so bad.
bounce a mystery remote. Run again.
You just don't care about the tags right now, do you?
Now at this point, I'm all in on the tag me. It's too far gone. He's got an Astro scored with a Res Sand and another one on the board.
Yeah, at any
It's go
point,
time.
Chris, are you even thinking about killing this Kati?
No.
Okay.
not at least for a couple turns. It would be such a tempo hit because Tim is doing such a great job of keeping me poor
Yeah.
that it would be an entire turn. Well, I suppose I have the marked account down there, but it would be 2 clicks to credit and then kill it. And it would
Right.
set me back to 0. Right now, what I'm thinking is, okay, he's hammering my centrals. I need to expand. I need to throw out more remotes that he could deal with. And I need to get a little bit of money back so I could get back in this game. But until I have money to res that ice in front of R&D, it's just I'm wide open.
Yep.
And at this point, I'm just making sure he's not trying to bluff anything out in a remote while desperately trying to find this corroder to keep the wraparound down in R&D, which is unfortunately causing me a lot of pain.
Do you run a special order?
I run 3 special orders.
Okay, so
and
you're
2
just
corroders, so
super unlucky
just
here.
unlucky at this point.
and you bounce.
And
I'm
a bounce
okay with
right
that.
off wraparound. Brings you down to 0 money. You'll get 1 back from marked accounts, so even if you top deck an agenda, you won't be able to score it.
It's true.
Unless he's running shipment from Sansan.
I could do some shenanigans. I could take a buck and then click to install on Sansan, then advance
Yeah.
a token.
Right, you could.
Except for the fact that I'm not running any 2-1s.
Yes.
So I can't do that.
That throws a wrench into that plan.
That was a lie. If I built my deck differently,
Yes.
I could do that.
Yes.
But I run the license acquisition instead of a 2-1.
Okay.
And I love it. Dearly.
That's a 3-1.
That's a 3-1.
So-
But I get to recur those Sansans.
Kind of good,
seen,
yeah.
I've seen similar decks also running Too Good to Be True.
Yep.
Which is great. I think I might switch over to that. Because just install that naked in Oromo, and it's as good as a snare for tagging them and firing the dedicated response teams.
Mm-hmm. And so, checking the heap there.
How many account siphons have I seen?
I think it's been 2
At
so
least
far.
2.
Oh, back in the day when you used to hit 9 account siphons a game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad that's not so popular anymore.
Yeah, that the old Anatomy of Anarchy build, as well as the older criminals that would bring deja vu in and that kind of thing.
So many account siphons.
Yeah.
I know what my next deck's going to be.
Classic.
I call it 6,000 account siphons.
So he trashes my Sansan.
Trashing the Sansan.
I frantically check, oh, please have another encryption protocol. And I don't.
Now, Tim, at any point, are you thinking about trashing this encryption protocol?
At this point, no, just because my economy isn't doing all that well, because I'm so tagged up that Kadi is essentially offline.
Right.
That I really am just desperately trying to get onto something, because looks to be 2 Maker's Eye in hand. I'm desperately trying to find a Corroder or a way to get it into play, and then just start hammering R&D.
Sounds like a good plan.
So I res the pad, I get $1 back,
Ooh.
I get the marked $1.
Oof. That is another Astro script.
Love it.
And you can
And
score
so
it.
that brings you to 6 with an Astro counter and a Sansan on the board.
I can't complain.
Times are hard.
I do have the license acquisition in hand.
Do you get rid of it or you keep it because you can just win? No, you need money next turn.
I
You're
do,
gonna,
yes.
Oh, no, but you have that in the pad.
I do. I
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
get $2 next turn.
So you
So
have
it's-
enough to win next turn. I don't know this, but I'm fairly certain it's about to happen. So
Of course, I'm nervous, though, because as Leela, you bounced back that ice in front of HQ.
right.
All right.
It's wide open.
And so
You
click
going to
one,
search for legwork?
special ordering to
Nope.
get the Corroder,
Oh,
playing
okay.
the Corroder.
So that's 1, 2. And then you're going to be
Hitting R&D.
R&D.
And you're sitting at 3 points right now.
But do you
Sitting
have
on
4
3.
credits just in case you hit NAPD again? I don't think you have 4 credits. Or you may though. But I don't
And then
Oh,
we're
the
going for the
Maker's
Maker's
Oh, right. You
Eye.
have to spend 2 anyway. So you probably don't.
And here we go.
This could be it, folks.
6-3. Maker's Eye.
So I'm thinking right now, diluting the deck a little bit
Yep.
because I have a Jackson on the board.
Right. Makes sense. Since you know you have the win in hand, it makes sense to use everything you can to deny it to
Absolutely.
me.
Everything you can without using money.
Yes.
You're going to need those
Yes.
dollars.
Yes.
Yeah, all I gotta do is stall. Well, actually, I'm sitting on $0 right now.
Oh, you're saying
Yep.
0. Never
So
mind.
use the Jackson to dilute down.
The $2 for next turn are gonna come from the asset economy.
That's right.
All right.
I did mention this earlier.
We'll see,
I
but
swear.
Tim's on click 3 here, though.
I'm on click 3.
So
If he could do this and get nothing, and then if he has 2 more credits, he could and has legwork in hand.
Which, in retrospect, I probably should have taken the Kadi money off, so I could have still won an NAPD.
a steal.
But hit the Beal.
2.
Jack-
Jackson.
Determines
Oh,
game.
the Astro!
no!
And
Tim
that's
wins the
game.
With a
Well
really,
played, Tim.
really well played
So that was
Maker's Eye.
that, and you would have had the game next turn. I had the legwork, which I could have tried, but
Yeah. And I'm sure you would have on click 4.
yeah,
Yes.
that was probably why I didn't Kadi there.
Yeah, makes sense. Very well played, Tim.
Yep. So there you go. That's the game for you.
So Chris and I both split. We split in that round. We both went 2-0 in the first round, so we're both sitting at 3-1 going into the final round of the playoffs, along with I think one other guy. So we'll have the last round coming up in just a minute here.
Well, don't say in just a minute.
Well,
it's going to be forever for them, right? It's like, it could be a day or two.
Yeah. Well,
or or maybe a minute.
Okay, all right, maybe. Oh, that's true. Yeah. After you put it.
We'll see. However much time passes, we
Yes.
thank you for waiting. And
there will be a
listening.
finite amount of time until the next round.
It's true.
And so thank you for tuning in this time, and we'll see you guys soon.
Have a good day, everybody.
See ya.